Picture this. The year is 1881. The Ottoman Empire, a power that once dominated the world, is in decline. Its glory days of grand conquests and vast territories have faded into the annals of history. Now it's grappling with a series of challenges: political instability, social unrest, and economic hardship. The once unshakable empire is now a shadow of its former self, with its influence waning on the global stage. The empire's struggles are not isolated incidents, but are reflective of broader global power shifts. Europe is rising, with industrialization propelling its nations to the forefront of the world stage. The Ottoman Empire, in stark contrast, is struggling to keep pace. This is a critical period, a time of immense change and uncertainty. But it's also a time of opportunity for those brave enough to seize it. It is a period that would shape the destiny of individuals, nations, and indeed the world. Within this turbulent landscape, a child is born in a small city called Thessaloniki, then part of the Ottoman Empire. This child would grow up amidst these challenges, these shifts in power, these societal upheavals. This child, Mustafa Kemal, would not only navigate these tumultuous waters, but also emerge as a beacon of change. In this turbulent world, a child was born who would change the course of history, Mustafa Kemal, who the world would later know as Atatürk. Raised in a time of struggle, Mustafa Kemal was destined for a life on the battlefield. Born in the late 19th century in the heart of the crumbling Ottoman Empire, young Mustafa was no stranger to political tumult and societal upheaval. His early life was marked by an intense thirst for knowledge, a curiosity that led him to the military academy in Istanbul. The academy was a crucible, a place where boys became men and men became soldiers. Mustafa, a diligent student and a natural leader, quickly rose through the ranks. His education was not just about military strategy and tactics. It was about understanding the world, the shifting geopolitical landscape, and the role of the Ottoman Empire within it. Upon graduation, Mustafa Kemal was a soldier in the making, ready and eager to serve his empire. His first real test came during the Italo-Turkish War, where he served with distinction. But it was in the Balkan Wars that Mustafa truly showcased his strategic genius and unflinching courage. In the midst of chaos and destruction, he led his men with an iron will, turning the tide of battles thought to be lost. His actions during these wars earned him respect and recognition, but they also hardened him. He saw the cost of war, the lives lost, the cities razed. He understood the fragility of peace and the importance of strong leadership. These early experiences shaped Mustafa Kemal. The boy from Salonika was now a seasoned soldier, a leader of men, a strategist who could see beyond the fog of war. He had witnessed the demise of the Ottoman Empire, the loss of territories, and the weakening of his nation. But he had also seen the potential for change, for revival, for a new beginning. The young soldier, hardened by the harsh realities of war, was preparing for a confrontation that would alter his life and his nation. World War I, a conflict engulfing nations, was the stage for Mustafa Kemal's rise as a military leader. Amidst the chaos and carnage, a new hero emerged on the shores of Gallipoli, a narrow peninsula in the Ottoman Empire, now modern-day Turkey. His name was Mustafa Kemal, a man who would later be known as Atatürk, the father of Turks. The Gallipoli campaign was a significant battle during the First World War, with the Allies aiming to control the sea route from Europe to Russia. The Ottoman Empire, aligned with the Central Powers, was the formidable obstacle in their path. Mustafa Kemal, then a young officer, was tasked with the defense of this strategic location. Kemal's leadership during the Gallipoli campaign was nothing short of extraordinary. Faced with a formidable force of Allied troops, he rallied his soldiers with a simple yet powerful message. "I am not ordering you to attack, I am ordering you to die. In the time it takes us to die, other troops and commanders can come and take our places." His words spurred his men into action, fighting with a tenacity and courage that was a testament to Kemal's inspirational leadership. His innovative strategies and tactical acumen significantly contributed to the successful defense of Gallipoli. He accurately predicted where the Allies would land, enabling the Ottomans to hold their ground against a force that far outnumbered them. His use of trench warfare, a somewhat novel approach at the time, proved to be a game changer, inflicting heavy casualties on the Allies and eventually forcing them to withdraw. The triumph at Gallipoli propelled Mustafa Kemal into the spotlight. His success in holding off Allied forces against all odds boosted his reputation, not only within the Ottoman Empire, but also internationally. He was hailed as the Hero of Gallipoli, a title that marked the beginning of his journey towards becoming one of the most significant figures in Turkish history. Gallipoli was a turning point for Mustafa Kemal, his name etched in history, but his greatest challenge was yet to come. The Ottoman Empire's surrender in World War I was not the end for Mustafa Kemal. Far from it. In fact, this was the stage where he truly began to shine as a national hero. Discontented with the Treaty of Sèvres, which sought to carve up the Ottoman Empire among the victors of the war, Mustafa Kemal saw a different future for his people. He envisioned a sovereign nation, free from the shackles of external forces. It was this opposition to the treaty that led him to spark the Turkish War of Independence. However, this was not a rash decision. Mustafa Kemal understood the gravity of the situation and the monumental task that lay ahead. He knew that this was a battle for the very survival of his people and their culture. In April of 1920, Mustafa Kemal took a decisive step. He established the Grand National Assembly, a clear signal of his intent to create a new independent Turkey. This was not just a military battle, but a political one as well. He was not just a military leader, but a statesman, carving out a new future for his people. Throughout the War of Independence, Mustafa Kemal displayed exceptional military strategy. His victories at the Battle of Sakarya and the Great Offensive were pivotal moments, turning the tide of the war in favor of the Turks. His leadership, his vision, and his determination were instrumental in these victories. However, the war was not just about winning battles. It was about securing the future of a nation. And that's exactly what Mustafa Kemal did. His victories on the battlefield laid the foundation for the creation of the Republic of Turkey. With the victory in the War of Independence, Atatürk had secured the future of a nation, but his vision extended beyond the battlefield. Indeed, his story doesn't end with the war. It was just the beginning of a remarkable journey that would transform Turkey into a modern secular state. But that's a tale for another time. From the ashes of the Ottoman Empire, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk built a new republic. Atatürk's vision of a modern Turkey was one that was progressive, secular, and firmly looking towards the West. To achieve this, he introduced a series of reforms that touched every aspect of Turkish life. In politics, he abolished the Sultanate and Caliphate, replacing them with a secular republic. He introduced a new constitution based on the principles of popular sovereignty and the separation of powers, and established the Turkish Grand National Assembly as the nation's highest authority. In the realm of education, Atatürk was a firm believer in the power of knowledge. He initiated a nationwide literacy campaign, modernized schools, and promoted science and technology. He also introduced the Latin alphabet, replacing the Arabic script, to make reading and writing more accessible to the everyday Turk. Atatürk's cultural reforms were just as profound. He embraced Western-style dress, music, and arts, and even changed the national calendar to align with the West. But perhaps his most radical reform was in the arena of women's rights. Atatürk championed gender equality, granting women the right to vote and hold public office, a move that was revolutionary in the context of the time. However, these reforms were not without their challenges. Traditionalists resisted his changes, and there were numerous attempts on his life. Yet Atatürk remained undeterred and continued to steer Turkey towards his vision of a modern, progressive nation. Under Atatürk's leadership, Turkey transformed. But what about his legacy? What did he leave behind? More than 8 decades after his death, Atatürk's influence resonates still. His military victories, notably at Gallipoli and during the War of Independence, solidified his status as a national hero and a respected global figure. But his legacy extends far beyond the battlefield. As the founder of modern Turkey, Ataturk enacted sweeping reforms that transformed the nation. His vision of a secular, democratic Turkey broke with centuries of tradition, and his commitment to education, women's rights, and cultural modernization left an indelible mark on Turkish society. Today, Ataturk is revered not just for his military prowess, but for his statesmanship, his foresight, and his unyielding dedication to progress. His portrait hangs in homes and offices across the country, a symbol of the respect and admiration he commands among Turks. Ataturk, a soldier, a statesman, a reformer, his life, his wars, his legacy, continue to shape the Republic of Turkey, a testament to his vision and leadership.